Hey, Jules Plus Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So people, may I clarify again that this is Jules. That's like my daily life. Blessed, those are all my God talks. And vegan, when I finally get around to the food choices that I make. So it's Jules Plus Vegan, man. I got a little bit of everything. And you can pick and choose or pick nothing, right? People are so comfortable with me. They lovingly tell me many things that I don't necessarily need to know. Anyway, though, when I go back to what I wrote as my description, it says, hello, welcome to Jules Blessed Vegan. I come from a 12-step background that saved me from my addictive personality because I'm just one of those extreme people. I go all in, right? Whether it was Overeaters Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Codependence Anonymous, it saved me. I've come to understand that life is much more joyous when food is secondary. I honor God through a high-carb, low-fat, primarily raw vegan lifestyle and avoiding animal products. Eating healthy. Excuse me, read more. Hi, I'm Jules Blessed Vegan and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you found me. I launched this in September, 100 days. Hey, that's a great voice, Jules, but can you stop? Let me guess, in hopes of bringing in the new year as the best version of yourself? I'm all in. I was just trying to see what it said on Show More. Oh, eating healthy, natural fruits and vegetables helps me to abstain, straight up. Check in for daily videos, vegan tips, spiritual journey, stories of triumphs and struggles and wellness, and a chance to share your journey in a non-judgmental form of support. Hey, I agree. I think I've stuck to that. I mean, come on. I am true to all of that. So, I'm not going to hide and pretend when things are perfectly well. I'm not going to deny the different tools that I've used to get to where I am. And I have done that because there's a wide array, and I was going to say variety as well, of people who tap into this channel, right? So I get it if people are a little confused. I get it if people are like, she doesn't really seem to have a brand or a total focus. It's true. There's a little bit of everything. I'm one of those people who gets bored easily and needs to change things up. But I do want to be able to tell you when I'm game on, which I certainly was a minute ago, when I'm struggling, which I certainly did a couple days ago. And it takes me a little bit more time to get back into my rhythm, but I'm well on my way. And I'm super grateful for that. And may going forward last, twice as long or last a lifetime. I don't know, but I want to be able to share my truth on that. So I understand people have trouble when I indicate that I'm a food addict, okay? I readily say that I understand that it's the chemicals in the food. I automatically say that when I am on plan, I have no triggers of any kind. I am completely satiated. That when I am eating a raw, plant-based, fruit and vegetable, healthy fats, 80-10-10, that I am good to go. That there is no conflict there within myself, and that any time that I feel deprived or act out, it is strictly because of a mindset, because I've allowed stress to get to me, because I forgot to halt, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, because I forgot to use some tools, and never the food itself, right? Because all of that, the macronutrients, the micronutrients, all of that completely meets the needs of my body. So I totally understand, like all day long. I completely understand that, and I say it about alcohol, I tell it about pills. I say that I am only an alcoholic when I'm drinking alcohol, that I am only a pill gourmet when I am eating pills, and that I am only a food addict when I am in the chemicals of food. Like, how is this news to anyone who's been following me at all? Like, is this where a thumbs up could be like, Jules, yeah, why are you even saying this? I'm just saying this because there's some people in my life that I love so much, but they often challenge me on this topic. And, they kind of go with that whole, well, you manifested because you affirmed it, and you named it and claimed it, and you said you're an addict, and, the first person who hears that is you. So no wonder. Freaking A. Did I also say that from infancy I struggled with food? That as a little tiny 3-year-old, I was pouting over food, stealing food, consuming food from my earliest days. I mean, even in the church, they say that the age of reason is 7. That you can't even receive first communion or have your first confession or anything, because before the age of 7 there is no reason per se that a person is capable of understanding, and right and wrong and all of those choices come later. So way before there was a choice, I was struggling with these things. Okay, like came into the world with this, I don't even know. I mean, as I'm going through the Stations of the Cross, and I talk about that burden of literally burdening oneself with that cross, it was certainly a cross for me to bear from my earliest days, before there was any conscious choice of any kind. And even biblically, it talks about generational challenges, generational sins, things that run through the family until there is a deliberate change, which, praise God, on my lineage, there is a deliberate change, because obviously I have stepped out of the standard American diet and chosen to go in a different direction by getting off of animal products, right? By choosing to be plant-based and to be vegan, and largely a raw vegan. I've completely stepped out of generation after generation after generation of meat eaters, right? At the very least, of certainly vegetarians and dairy consumers. So maybe in my little lineage, if anyone dare follow my path, and I already see some of my nieces and nephews, and it's not necessarily from me, but I've got, a good 6 nieces and nephews that are all plant-based vegan, praise God. So there's some change there. But honestly, I don't know why that is an ongoing argument, because I kind of joke that I have absolutely affirmed myself a beauty queen to no avail. I have affirmed myself a millionaire. Didn't happen. This isn't about me affirming that I am an addict. It's about me recognizing not only a tendency that was put on me from before I could even make conscious choices, but an actual chemical imbalance in my body. I no longer take medication for being bipolar, which was prior to that manic depressive, but I'm not stupid about it. I still recognize when I'm in an episode, I just have better tools to deal with it. And I know that that's something that has run in my family on both sides for generations, and that it certainly was hit and miss. Of the 11 kids in my belly button family, to my knowledge, only 4 of us had that. Of my parents, neither, but of their siblings, both. You know what I mean? Like, so is that really something? Well, you're affirming it, you're naming it and claiming it. No, I'm not. I'm recognizing it. I'm recognizing it as a truth. I'm recognizing it as something that I need to be aware of, and knowing that I can be empowered to choose differently. But I'm kind of getting a little tired of that conversation. A little. Because I just think, praise God, that that's not your truth, but it's mine, and it's okay. It's not like I'm, swimming in it. It's just something that I'm acutely aware of. And also, when I talk about the 12-step program, I love those steps, because much like my friend Tanny Raw, whom I mentioned and is a social media phenom on every health platform, the 12-step program addresses the entire person: physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. They recognize that the acting out with the alcohol, with the pills, with the food. It's just a symptom of the crying out of a disordered being, right? For whatever that is going on. So there's 12 steps, understanding that whatever your power is, isn't working. So the need for a power greater than yourself, to recognize that there's a problem to begin with. The first 3 steps, I can't. I've proven that. God can. He's bigger than me, and it doesn't have to be the God of the universe, but whatever outside of yourself. And surrendering daily to, I'm going to let them. Obviously, the other day I took my power back, which wasn't in my best interest, and I faltered with my food. It's better for me to surrender to the different tools and the different programs and the different people who are living a way that I admire and would like to live, So I appreciate the 12 steps. I appreciate Tanny Raw Reset, which again, Tanny Raw is someone who addresses the whole person, the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. A person who tries to meet you where you are and move you forward, which of course is always the more gentle way, right? But I've definitely had some people who have been trying to, put stuff on me, decide that I'm proclaiming my illness, and I just don't agree. I don't agree. I feel like recognizing something is empowering in itself. Recognizing the tendency is empowering in itself, because when I do get too comfortable, is when I tend to falter. Because I do think I can just go back to old ways. I mean, what's the big deal, right? It's a big deal. And even though it was only 2 days, it takes many days to get over, right? Because of course, my microbiome's screaming, it's begging me to go back. Isn't that the simpler way? What does it matter? Etc., etc. So anyway, I'm about to get off my high horse because I'm getting a nosebleed. I'm so high up. But I just wanted to re-express that. The beauty of social media is that you don't have to participate in it. I'm not required to do any more videos. I still feel called to, which is why I show up. You're never required to watch them. That's refreshing, right? So everybody has choices here. But my choice will be continuing to share all the elements. Again, Jules, what is my story in my daily life? From being a teacher to being, a family person to loving animals to struggling with addictions, all of my Jules stuff. My blessed, like right now, we're in the middle of Lent. We're coming right up on Easter. I wanted to go over the 14 stations of the cross, so certainly the blessed part of that. And then, of course, vegan, which has become very important to me in just the last couple of years, I mean, honestly, it's been new to me. It's only been a couple of years that I even thought about it, even dared to pursue it in any way, and have been building and learning and releasing excess weight. But it's only been a couple of years. I'm a newbie by all accounts. I'm not a newbie in the 12-step program. That's been 30 years. And the only reason I'm new is because it's one day at a time and tomorrow isn't promised. So yeah, in that sense, I will always be new, and I'm good for that. All right, so anyway, I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about. I actually had a really good quote, which I'm going to save for tomorrow, because I didn't expect to feel a need to explain all of this, but it's kind of been coming at me from every corner. And I just wanted to explain once again why I remind myself of my addictive tendencies, why I appreciate the 12 steps, and why it serves me to continue to do that, in that in no way am I confused that I am only addicted to chemically laden food and terrifically appreciate the food from God, which is something I've mentioned so many times as well. If God made it, eat it, and you'll be free. If it's human packaged, there's probably a problem, and there's no doubt that it's going to be chemically laden, and in my case, provoke me to no end. Not confused about that at all. Okay, anyway, so then, yes, I was talking about the stations of the cross. The first station, poor Jesus being condemned to death, completely innocent. He never hid. He told his business to everybody out in the public, in the square. He spoke all his truth. But they finally came around and took him, and he was condemned to death and then ultimately given his cross and literally a plank of wood. Now, let's go back to the being condemned to death part, because in that, he, of course, was beaten within an inch of his life with those scorpion whips, which literally have, a ton of sharp cutting blades on the ends of them. And even though Jews were only supposed to be hit 39 times, as if, right? 39 times. They far exceeded that and literally just tore up even the bottoms of his feet. Every bit of him was slashed, like razor blades slashed everywhere. And then on all of that, they mocked him and, put the darn crown of thorns to say, yeah, king of the world. Yeah, king of the Jews, sure. And so he has this horrific crown of thorns, right? And then on that totally ripped up body, to put that wood, that plank of wood, and no surprise that the third station is him falling for the first time. He's going to fall a few more times. But yeah, he fell for the first time. And, at any moment, he could have proclaimed his majesty. I mean, this is God in human form. Jesus was God incarnate, right? At any time he could have said, joke's over, and done anything. But in his humility and love and care and desire to model what humility looks like, my goodness, he continued and dared to get back up. So for me, on my walk, as a vegan and as a food addict, thank you. I will dare to get back up. They say it's not how many times we fall, it's how many times we get back up. And by grace, I have gotten back up many, many times. And by God's grace, I even could get up, because I had alcohol poisoning and was hospitalized for days. I was passed out and incoherent from playing Russian roulette with various pills, and God got me back up. I have been in food comas, and I can say literally on that, in the sense that my blood sugar went so crazy. I could hardly be renewed. None of that is my truth today, right? None of that is my truth today. I weighed over 330. I'm down in the low 190s. Praise God. And I am continuing to show up. And some days are harder than others, but I'm happy to do it and feel very blessed that anybody cares about my message or this channel. But I will continue to just tell my truth. And if it's only me listening, I'm okay with what I've said thus far. All right, my friends, thanks so much for coming by, JBV. Like if you liked artists, if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know. I don't even have you in my Invisalign, and I sure can't talk for nothing. I had to take those out for a moment. Anyway, let me know in the comments below how I may support you. I'd love to hear any feedback, good, bad, or otherwise. I can take it. And until we talk again, best of all, know that I feel blessed and know that you're blessed.